Hey, Scott Russell. I've kind of felt a bit of a connection to some of you folks over time here. We've sort of walked the paths a lot, and some of the comments that you put on my groups, and I'm really impressed with some of the intelligence, the perspective of life. So I thought I'm going to settle in for a little bit of a chat as if you were just sat here with me, and some of the things that we'd probably be talking about if you were here. So yeah, it's not really, as you know, my thing is not about sensationalism or entertainment, and I'm not trying to be the next viral hit because I've come far enough to know that if you start to get too visible, they just close your account. So I've just coming off the back of my TikTok account again closed again. Normally I can appeal it, but this time they've just completely wiped it away. So and I'm usually caused a bit of a ruckus in the past when I get ahead of the wave, so to speak. They're wanting to do their plans, and when you start talking a little bit too far in front of them, the globalists being them, they shut you down, restrict you. As many of you know, I've had groups locked off for so long. There's not much you can do with them. They're tighter than a fish's noo-noo. But anyway, I just thought let's touch on a few things together, and one of them is where I think we're at. I do think still that we're going to see a currency collapse. Maybe we can say it this way, because people, when I say currency collapse, they go on the exchange. I get these comments like, I'm on the exchange and the Forex or wherever, and the US dollar doesn't look too bad compared to other dollars. So it's very naive, but we don't have a frame of reference for what's coming. So nobody has the final answer but God. I think we're looking for answers to try to keep normal. Normal is gone. And it's pretty unsettling to have to come up with a new normal. I know, excuse me, when I'll just open my heart. When I had my marriage fell apart and all the dramas that followed that, and I remember that my ex would try to continue life as normal, and it wasn't normal. And remember that video of Cary Grant's, or whoever it is, that movie, Christmas, it's an old black and white, and he's going to commit suicide off the bridge, and the angel takes him and walks him back through his life. Was it A Beautiful Life or something like that it's called? Anyway, there's a scene in that which was very indicative of where I felt at the time, and I think many of us are going to feel. He was standing at the window of his house, looking through the window at his family, preparing for Christmas. And there was nothing he could do, because he was obviously a spirit being at that time, I guess, and to connect with his family. And as he looked through that window, that's the feeling. And sometimes you can look at what was your life, and you're on the outside, and the people are trying to go on like nothing's ever happened, and you're going, but it has happened. You have to address, you have to look at this. And so denial is not the answer here. And I think personally probably around March, because it's when the US presidential election season kicks into high gear. The election, for those that don't know, is November 2024. They don't want Trump in. If there's any way, I don't know if it's true, I've had people on here say that if there's a war, the elections can be cancelled. I don't know if that's true. I do believe if it is true, they'll do it, because they don't want to risk Trump getting in at all. So I think we're looking at probably March. Now, we're talking about the currency collapse. Let's redefine it. Let's call it a system collapse brought about by the collapse of the currency. So, a lot of economists are trying to keep an old system alive, and, can't understand. I've followed Peter Schiff for years, and, he talks good sense, but he talks good sense as if they're trying to bring back what's here, and he could never understand, I think, why the US government's having this drunken orgy of money that they're destroying the country with, and inflation. Whereas I say, well, when you step back and you see that the WEF's involved, and that they are doing the same thing globally. They actually don't want to fix the system, they want to break it. I believe that's why our governments are giving so much money. They're just printing it and giving it to anything and everything, and nobody's slowing down. They're going in harder. And we look and go, what are you, stupid? Well, yes and no. They're stupid in the fact that they don't see what they're doing to their own children. I believe the authorities in these nations, I'm currently in Australia, their own pride has blinded them. They think they're in control of what's going on, but there's a puppet master behind them of the IMF and the World Economic Forum and the people behind there that are pulling the strings. And so these men, I always say a proud man's an easily controlled man. Because, he just rolls over and you give him a little scratch and, oh, that's great, you're so wonderful, and that's our leaders here, you're in charge of Australia, thank you. But the whole time they're being used and abused, very, very foolish outlook. And I think some of them are aware that things are starting to go wrong. Yes, I believe we're going to see chaos on the streets. I think when it collapses, they have to have chaos. It's the only way they will get a central bank digital currency accepted to the degree they need it accepted. I don't believe the central bank digital currency is a mark of the beast in and of itself. I think it's a step in that direction. We're already seeing where they've got chips in people's hands here in the city of Canberra in Australia. I know of a man that has a chip in his hand. Just a small town pretty much compared to the rest of the world, and he's already chipped. It's the progression of where it's going, and I think they're leading it in that direction. So would I take a central bank digital currency? In some ways, if you have a tax ID number, you already have it. I still think it's good to resist because we are getting coerced into this, and you'll be happy you know nothing is is definitely there. They're taking homes, they're people, the cash in the bank. You should have done something with that by now. If you're on my groups and you still have a whack of cash in your bank and you're not doing anything with it, then you got yourself to blame. You're looking for normal, you're looking for a beautiful life, and that beautiful life is gone. Now you have to make a new one. And you have to take responsibility in yourself for that. And so, I think they're replacing one system with another. And, so I would ask the economists and say, okay, what will this new system look like? And the WEF has laid that out for us. And as I've covered in videos, they talk about the multipolar world, that BRICS is part of this multipolar world. Well, it is, and that's BRICS language, that's WEF talk, but BRICS uses the same talk. So I think I have a friend that's used to work for the World Bank assessing countries for finances many years ago, and mixes with some of the top economists in the world. And some of our conversation has been, he thinks that this is going to go regionally. I agree with him. Because these people, these non-elites, are money's their god. They don't want to have nothing. So they have to have a region, a safe haven they can put their money while they're crashing the West. And this is all about crashing the USA. And they have to crash the USA to be able to bring down Australia and everywhere else. But Australia's so compliant, they'll just walk through here with it anyway. But people will complain, but they won't do anything. So we're looking at a multipolar world. But it's really unipolar, isn't it? It's really under them, but they're just giving the illusion of multipolar. So I think, and for me, I'm working on some kind of philanthropic, if that's the word, things for in a BRICS country to try to help when things tank, to try to just be a little bit of stability in the chaos for those that are in my community. Am I their answer? No. I think there is no complete and final answer other than God and doing what he tells you on the day. So to have a little bit of food, to have a little bit of gold, to have a little bit of plan for your family if it all collapses and your family's not all in one place, tell them this is where we'll all try to get to meet, to rally to. This is our safe point. plans for if there is social chaos. And maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. People come on, oh, you're an idiot, you're wrong. I'm like, oh, dear God, I hope I am. It's one time it'd be nice to be wrong, wouldn't it? But I don't think I am. And to live like that's not going to happen, and that to have it happen, it's not so wise. So, yeah, am I the answer to any of this? No, I'm living what I feel God's put in my life to do. I've written my book many years ago, Vegetable Garden Faith and a Corvette. Just part of my journey to get me here. I've been on this journey for 20 years. I understand the pain, I understand the fear, I understand the sacrifice, and read the book. You'll feel my pain in it. But I can tell you, it gets better. I wrote another couple of books, but one of them was called, what is it now? The Gift. The Gift and The Gifted, two different books, but The Gifted's about really the sort of community that we will see rise up through this, and we are seeing rise up through this. I didn't put an author on it because I just don't care. I'm not looking for any recognition, but it's Koinonia 101. Koinonia 101 is the author, but you can get that wherever you'd find the other one, or if you don't have money or you need it, just let me know. I'll send you a digital copy. I don't care. So yeah, if you're looking, and I know we are, and trying to create normal, people are looking for, okay, where do I put my cash? A lot of questions I get like that. What do I do with my money? And I'm like, no, it's going away. You're not going to get an easy answer. I do think from the Venezuela video that's way back a lot of my videos I put on YouTube that are just the me ones, just because it's easier to navigate. So you can see the ones way back there on Two Free Scott on there. But the interview with Venezuela, where he talks about investing in essentials. So I think it's smart if you're in that position because when things crash, you just want something to take a bit of pressure off of you. So you're not in the chaos everybody else is in looking for your toilet paper. It gives you a bit of time to take a breath because you will have a lot of mental stress, and you'll make poor decisions under mental stress. I've lived 20 years under not knowing where my next meal was coming from, not knowing where I would sleep that night, and I could never understand why I lived like that and saw some of the incredible provision that I saw. But I do understand now, and as some of you would be familiar, I had vision of currency that deep on the street of Boston at the start of that journey. So I knew there was going to be a crash, and I write about it in the beginning of the book. In fact, I'll see if I can write a prophetic word there that I sort of launched out under, which was talking about a side of the world in great distress, and how God has a heart for that. And I want to encourage you that if God is over 20 years, in 99 showed me, January 2000 really showed me some of what was going to happen, then he's got this covered. There's people out there like me and others, you may even be one, that God has set apart and prepared. There's others that are trying to find the control, and you've just got to let go. It's a journey, and I'll touch on this whole universe deal, and people get going on about the universe. The universe is talking to me, and I don't want to put that down, because I believe most of the people that do that have been abused by religion. They hate religion, and understandably, I stepped out of organised religion. It's no different to the government that's persecuting us. But you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. God's in everything, in all and through all. And I think I was talking to someone at one time about this whole universe deal. I listen to the universe, and the universe seems to help me. And I was like, okay. So what you're telling me here, I stopped her. I said, what you're telling me is there's stardust out there? And I wasn't mocking her. I'm just saying, is it? Yeah. She's like, I don't know what it is. It's just out there. I said, okay, so there's a consciousness out there, is what you're telling me. That's right. Yeah. Because there has to be a consciousness. If it's aware of you, and it's aware of your needs or what you need or why this world is, any consciousness, anything, if it's aware of it, it's a consciousness, correct? Yeah, it's a consciousness. I said, okay. So if there's a consciousness, it has to come from somewhere. And I said, you could call it Frank, Harry, Pine Tree. But ultimately, it's the fact that you're showing me you're scared of the fact you've been abused by religion. Abused by what you thought was love, and it wasn't. I said, if there's a consciousness, then it's a being. And if it's a being, we could call it God. So these people that are saying, well, I'm aware of something in the universe, I can feel it talking to me. It's God talking to you. But he's so comfortable in who he is, he doesn't care what you call him. There's people that I love, and I don't care what they call me. I had recently somebody, I don't have a lady in my life. I mean, there's a lady I think's amazing, but she's not in my life. Someone had to do with me. But called me names. Well, she hasn't called me names, but she's been pretty direct in some of the things she said. And am I hurt by that? Well, I don't like to hear it, but it doesn't change who I am and doesn't change what I think or how I feel. And that's like God. You can curse him out, call him names. He just sits back and says, I love you. I love you. Can we take a journey? And so I think we're not used to love, so we try to control it. We try to figure it out. We want to own it. We want to make sure that we know what it's going to be. And if I'm with that person, then I need to know what's the future going to hold. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I've often wondered about my life of looking like who could be with me anyway, because I am living, I have a desire for normal, but it's just not there. And I would be foolish to try to create normal, because I know that's going away. So I look and go, I couldn't tell a lady, this is exactly what my future is going to look like. And everybody wants, buy a house and a white picket fence and have a kid and I've got kids and that, but that's another story. But they want normal, to be able to control it. I don't have that. I have freedom, I have peace, I have joy in that. I live life to the full. I don't know often where I'm going, but I don't want to always live like that. I may not want to, but here I am. I think if a lady came into my life, we would discover the future together and we would try to find what it's supposed to look like. But it would definitely have to be somebody that's very open to the different and the creative, because I believe life is creative, and where we're going, we need to be in the creative. So, I've often wondered, I thought, that special lady, would she be able to surrender? And I think she would at the right time. So, so I think I'm saying all that to say life can be, well, the older I'm getting, you don't understand where it's going. But I understand that God loves me. He's in my life. I follow the peace. So I got my TikTok shut down. It's a good example. So, I could be offended and I'll just start again and empower off the pain. It's not there's a lot of pain. It's TikTok, for crying out loud. What do I care? It wasn't even my main account. It was my backup account. They closed my backup account, left the same videos on my main account, which is the Global Freedom Movement. It's still there. But I had on my backup account, one of the videos went 250,000 in a couple of days about bank bail-ins. So they closed it. But on the other account, it only had maybe 5,000. I don't know. So that too much attention. I encourage you to, if you've got it, start an account, put it on TikTok. People say go on Rumble. I don't care about Rumble. They're already converted. Be a burr under their saddle. Just even if you get 100 followers, even if you get 10 views on a video, they doctor the views. You don't know really how many legitimate views you're getting, because they don't really show you. And I know that because I've done lives, and some people on my end, it might say you've got 5 viewers, and somebody else is looking and saying it's say 50. So they when you have shadow ban, they doctor everything. So start a TikTok, and you say, what do I do for content? Just rob it off my site. I rob it off everybody else's. You just pull it down. message me. I can give you the TubeMate. It's a great program you use to get stuff like that. You'll never get into trouble. I mean, anyone that's done social media for any length of time knows your content gets robbed. It's going off all over the place. You want that. So just grab the videos and put them up. And because if we've got 1,000 people with 100 followers, we get a great coverage. They'll shut down this and then there'll be 2 more. And, just keep doing it. And appeal it. Every time they close you down, appeal it, unless they do what they've done to me and completely made your account just completely disappear. You can't even log in anymore to be able to appeal it. So go for it. Do it. Don't just sit around and, feel sorry for ourselves. And I told my sons, I'm going to finish this up here, but I told one of my sons, we went through a lot with the family, and he was it was his story, just a great young man that really was hurt, as we all were, through what happened. And he, last time I was with him, I gave him a hug and I said, I'm proud of you, mate, and I love you. And he's right here, he's Dad, I'm proud of you and I love you. And he said, I was living as a victim, Dad, and through you, now I'm not. I realise I'm not a victim, even though I am. I'm not going to think like a victim. And I said, mate, that's your choice. That's not me. You chose to get free of that. And he said, Dad, I want to honour you. It's you. And I'm like, okay, I take that. Thank you. But I said, mate, if there's 2 things I could give you in life, the first one would be to understand, not from a religious perspective, a relationship with Jesus, that he bought me access to unconditional love. He is unconditional love. And he set me free of my sin. It's just gone. Even when I do sin, when I've surrendered to him, the unconditional love covers all. And I said, so if I could give you a relationship with Jesus, or have you understand the importance of that. And I said, then secondly, that the most important thing I could give you in life, you could get in life, is the understanding to not to think like a victim even when you are a victim. Then you're free. The world can't hold you. Everything that we live is there to make us feel like a victim. And when we feel like a victim, it controls us. And I was talking to a young man recently, exchange on Facebook, he's going off about how bad his life's been. And I said, mate, when you've had it worse than Jesus, I might feel sorry for you. Maybe, probably not. But I said, welcome to life. Well, you don't understand, nobody knows the troubles I've seen. My dad used to sing as a joke. And yeah, you probably had a horrid life. And I'm sorry if you have, but welcome to life. What makes us and what makes you or me any different to anyone else? You're going to have pain. And Jesus, when he died on the cross, took all of our sin, the Bible says. He took everything. He was a righteous man that took all unrighteousness. He was the greatest victim ever, but he didn't think like a victim. And because he didn't think like a victim, he came through as a victor. Part of the reason. Imagine if he just sat there going, well, I don't deserve this on the cross. I don't deserve this, these rotten people. What did he say? He hung there. As he hung there, his last words were, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. And that's the freedom Jesus brought to me. When my family fell apart, and some of my children I've been estranged for 4 years, haven't had contact with them because they were weaponized. And I just wait. So, do I be a victim, curl up in a ball, feel sorry for myself? No, it's terrible. I feel horrible. Some days I cry about it. Still, my heart aches. But then I give it to God. I forgive. And I love, and I say, I refuse to be a victim. And I've done all I can do. Somewhere along the line, they're going to want to come to me for intimacy, not for what I can do. And I think it's the same with all relationships. I don't want people in my life because they think I can do something for them. He can take care of them. I'm happy to do a little bit here and there, but you got the wrong guy. But if you want to come to me because of intimacy of heart, a relationship, a woman wants to come, that right woman, when she comes to my life, it'll be because she sees Scott, the work of art called Scott. I see the work of art called her. Not what she can do for me, not what I can do for her. That'll happen. But it's coming and saying, I just love you. And I think that's what's special. That to me is what God is. It's where he's, that's why I don't follow religion, organised religion, because it's no different to the government. I follow the peace. Follow the peace. So as I am concerned about what's coming, and I still, who can't get fear of some of what's about to hit us? But I surrender it to that love, and I just say, God, I give it to you. Peace comes, and then I follow the peace. So I think I didn't finish the subject here, but I can't remember what I was talking about, but whatever. It's anyway, so that's love. And that's what God's been showing me, is that how much he loves me, that as I just, even in my imperfections, he loves me. Because I've surrendered to him. And I feel like to me, to him, I'm a work of art. And that work of art comes because I have good and bad and things I've done wrong and shouldn't have done and have done good and whatever. He just looks at all that and says, that's the artwork called Scott. I think relationships is a beautiful thing to talk about, especially because I don't have a woman. It's easy to talk about it. But, you know, if that woman was there, and like I told you, there's one I've looked at and gone, well, she's an amazing creation. There'd be a cool journey there if it was ever to be. But you look at that and go, it's just a work of art. You see the good, the bad, the ugly, the this, the that they always try to hide because they think, you know, we'll have to put that. We all do, right? Want to be looking like the good guy. I do my hair in the morning. Why? I don't have to look at it. You do. But yeah, we care what people think. So she cares. But in her caring, she's got to discover all that matters, and she's a beautiful work of art, correct, but it's really nice to be able to just say, I love your spirit. I resonate with your spirit. I've talked about that on another video. Make intercourse with someone's spirit, then intercourse with their heart and their mind, and then maybe not with their mind because they'll never understand it. And that's a true marriage. So I think that's life. I'm encouraging folks that that's where this world's going, as I'm finishing here because I feel like I've said enough. Where it's going, find that relationship with God. Surrender your life to him, your artwork. Say, God, my good, my bad, my ugly, everything. Jesus, you brought me the freedom, the access. You showed me unconditional love. I believe people say, oh, he died on the cross to show us repentance. Well, repentance is a good thing, but it's really about unconditional love. He died, I believe, to take away sin and say, now, whatever you've done, it's irrelevant now. When you just give it to me and let me become and see your artwork, and we'll walk together. So I think that's what Jesus is to me, where I can say, this artwork that's been messed up, that's good, that's bad, that's ugly, give it to you. That's what my relationship's going to be. When that woman comes along and says, Scott, you're imperfect. Man, you make some mistakes, you say some dumb things. But I love your spirit. Let's journey together. I'll be doing it back. And when you've got that resonance. And I can tell you, you can do anything in that. Anything's possible. One can put 1,000 to flight, the Bible says. Two can put 10,000. Synergizing. And I believe that's what a true marriage is. When somebody comes, she pulls out the better than best in me. I pull out the better than best in her. Because I'm the best version of me I can be, but ultimately only somebody else has to come along and go, hey, let me just bring you up. And that's what'll happen when it's supposed to happen. So I wait. It'll come when it's supposed to come, and I just continue to be the best version of me, to prepare for what's coming ahead of us with all this junk by just being the best version of me and flowing with what God gives for me for each day. God bless you. If there's any questions or anything, send them along and keep going. You know, like I said, God's got these men out there and these women. We've got the answers. Live it. Love you.